I'm Robert with American Powertrain. Let's talk about drive shafts. When you convert to a TREMEC transmission, why do you need a new drive shaft? How do you measure to make sure you have the right drive shaft? And what are your options once you've figured it all out? So here's the why. All of the TREMEC transmissions are a different size than the old 4-speeds or the 3-speed or 4-speed automatics. So the length is going to be different. The other thing is the output shaft in the TREMEC transmissions, the TKOs and the Magnums, are 31 spline, and they're a larger diameter than most of your production car shafts, especially your muscle car generation. And even the T5, it's not a bigger shaft, but it is a different spline, so you will be changing the yoke to accommodate the spline, and you have to change the length because your transmission is longer. Before you start to measure for your drive shaft, make sure you have the car positioned where the full weight of the vehicle is on the rear suspension. So 4-post lift is ideal, but jack stands under the rear axle or blocks under the tires will accomplish the same thing. If you don't have the weight on the suspension, the differential will not be at the angle that it's going to be when the car is on the road, and that will throw off the measurement for your drive shaft. Start your measurement at the machine surface of the rear of the tail housing. From there, go to the face of the flange on the differential. This will put you in the center of the U-joint. If you have a flat-faced flange, measure to the face. The reason we measure from the flat surface on the rear of the tail housing is so we have a constant point from one customer to the next. All the math that has to be done as far as yoke engagement, etc., we take care of all the math. We just need a set of measurements. So the question is, how do I get these angles? How do I measure them? Well, you take the face of your angle finder, put it flat up against the machine surface on the tail housing. That will give you the angle for the transmission. Then you go to the differential, put it against the face of the flange on the differential, and that gives you your differential angle. Take the baseline angle of your transmission output shaft. Next, take the same measurement at the pinion yoke. Finally, subtract the angle of the drive shaft from each of these measurements. Make sure that your results are within the normal operating range of 1.5 to 4 degrees. The ideal situation is equal and opposite angles. For example, 2.5 degrees front, negative 2.5 degrees rear. Once you've established the length of your drive shaft, the next thing to do is find out what size rear U-joint do you need. This is very simple. You're measuring across the joint. Be sure the caps are firmly seated so you get an accurate measurement across. Then measure the diameter of the caps. We have a guide on our website and on our order forms that tell you how to translate those numbers into a U-joint size. And don't forget, measure across both directions in case you have a conversion joint that is one size one direction and another size across the other way. If you bought an American Powertrain 5 or 6-speed kit, the standard shaft in that is this. It's a drawn over mandrel steel, good strength, high quality shaft, and you can step up to other options such as the aluminum. So if you want to drop a little weight, remove some weight from your rotating mass for racing or other high performance applications, there's aluminum. But remember, with a lighter weight, you do pick up a larger diameter to keep the strength of the steel. Or you can go with the no compromises option, which is the carbon fiber. This is an extremely light material. This shaft probably weighs 2 or 3 pounds. Most of that weight is in the aluminum flanges on the end. So here are your options. And if you have any questions about how to order the shaft, how to measure the shaft, any questions about your U-joint size, just give us a call. We'll be happy to help.